Some men aren't born to live, but to die many times. Rasputin was poisoned with wine and cake, shot in the chest, stabbed in the back, beaten until his bones broke, and still he kept breathing.
As if death, for an instant, had remembered what fear felt like.
When they finally threw him into the Neva River, they thought the ice would close his story. But beneath the frozen surface, his eye opened.
And all of Russia swore they saw that eye watching from the water, not with fury, with patience, like someone who knows he'll return.
They killed him 1,000 times. And 1,000 times, he woke again.
Some called him a saint, others a beast. But all of them, even those who hated him, whispered his name with the same tremor, used to pronounce prayers.
Because Grigory Rasputin was not merely a man, he was the warning heaven forgot to seal.
Celum aeternam celum, aeternam celum, aeternam celum, aeternam celum, aeternam celum, aeternam celum, aeternam celum.
Before becoming the Tsar's demon, he was just a child in Siberia, born among ice and silence, where the sun barely touches the earth, and wolves prey before they kill.
His village had no temples, only a wooden church, and a sky too vast for anyone to hear them.
Since childhood, Grigory Rasputin claimed to see lights over the dead. He heard voices in dreams, and when he prayed, the fire answered.
By the age of 12, everyone knew he wasn't normal. He healed wounds with his hands, predicted storms, and spoke of God with the confidence of someone who had seen him.
He said sin purified the soul, that only by touching darkness could one understand light.
And he proved it. He drank, fell, sinned, then wept like a saint before the altar.
His eyes held no brightness, yet in them burned something even the snow couldn't extinguish.
Some called him mad, others chosen. And between both, Rasputin chose to believe he was both.
He left his home, his wife, and his children, wandered through Russia like a barefoot monk, preaching to peasants and prostitutes. He never carried a Bible, only a gaze that made those who met it tremble.
He said God was tired of the saints, and now spoke through sinners.
Thus was born the prophet without a temple, the monk without a church, the man who walked barefoot across the ice, claiming the fire of God followed him within.
And perhaps it did, because wherever he went, silence never remained.
From the frozen roads of Siberia, Rasputin reached St. Petersburg, the brightest city of the empire. And like all light, it had too many shadows.
They say he entered the palace uninvited, that the guards let him pass as if an instinct older than fear whispered, "Let him in."
There he met Tsarina Alexandra, the most powerful woman in Russia, and the most desperate. Her son, young Alexei, was dying of hemophilia. Science had already given up. Only faith remained.
And faith, when desperate, believes in anyone who promises a miracle.
Rasputin knelt before the boy, prayed without words, placed his hands on the frail body, and the fever broke. That night, the Tsarina swore she had seen an angel.
Or a demon with saintly manners.
From that moment, the monk became her confessor, her guide, and her shadow. The court despised him. The nobles called him the Tsar's devil.
And yet, no one could touch him, because whenever someone defied him, misfortune struck their family.
Rumors spread. Orgies disguised as masses, noblewomen kneeling before him, praying and sinning in the same breath.
He said sin freed the soul, that God forgave quicker those who dared to get dirty, and everyone wanted forgiveness.
While Russia sank into war and famine, Rasputin reigned among silk curtains and black candles.
He was the only man who could whisper into the Tsarina's ear, and the only one the people wanted to see burn.
The monk who kissed the cross with the same mouth that he used to sin.
Some called him a saint, others a living blasphemy. But all looked at him the same way, as one looks at a prophecy that breathes.
When the monk's power grew greater than the Tsar's, the nobility decided he no longer spoke with God, but with something far worse.
And in Russia, when fear dresses as faith, the knife always arrives before the prayer.
In December of 1916, he was invited to dinner at the Yusupov Palace. The wine was sweet, the cake perfect, the cyanide invisible.
He drank 3 glasses, ate 2 slices, and then smiled, as if the poison flattered him.
Then they shot him once, twice. He fell and stood again.
This is how demons die, they thought, but the demon still breathed.
They stabbed him, beat him, dragged him down the stairs. His blood stained the palace walls, and still he stared back at them.
They say he smiled then and murmured something no one dared repeat, as if reminding death that she too must obey him.
They bound him in chains, wrapped his body in cloth, and threw him into the Neva River beneath the winter ice.
They thought the water would seal his story, but water cannot extinguish fire, not born of this world.
When they found him days later, his hands were free, his lungs full of water. He had drowned. They'd killed him 1,000 times, but only the river managed to make him sleep.
Or so they wished to believe.
Because some swore they saw a figure in the mist walking across the ice, eyes fixed on the palace, a bearded shadow with one eye still gleaming beneath the frost.
Even death hesitated to touch him. And when death hesitates, a legend is born.
Grigory Rasputin died that night, but the silence he left behind still breathes. The river closed over his body, and with it, the empire began to die. Weeks later, the Tsar abdicated. Months later, the royal family was executed, and the last echo of the Russian monarchy still carried his name.
Rasputin had said it. If I die, the Tsar will die with me. And heaven, for once, kept the promise.
Today, his tomb is empty. His bones have vanished, his face lost among myth and ashes. But his story still lives where faith decays.
A prophet for the unbelievers, a monster for the faithful.
Some remember him as a saint, others as the devil who kissed the Tsar's hands. But none could forget his gaze, nor that impossible fire that kept him standing when everything else should have been dead.
Perhaps he wasn't immortal. Perhaps he was simply a man so full of faith that even death refused to carry him.
Russia cursed him, history condemned him, but time adopted him.
Because there are names that need no body to remain alive, and Rasputin is one of them.
The ice never extinguished his fire, it only preserved it.
And that fire still burns in every soul that confuses power with faith.
Not all miracles come from heaven. Some are warnings that heaven is no longer watching.
Rasputin was no saint, nor a demon. He was the eternal reminder that some men can speak with God and then forget why they did.
And in that forgetting, his immortality was born.